Hey guys, welcome back to Gunpowder Acres. A lot of people don't realize just how many 32 caliber pistol cartridges there are. I want to show you a few of them, explain a little bit about them, and try not to be too dry about it. Show you what we got. Alright, here's a 22 next to a 32 short rimfire and a 32 long rimfire to give you an idea. These were developed around 1860 by Smith & Wesson, used in their pistols. Then eventually they wound up becoming rifle cartridges as well. They lasted a number of years up until around the 1930s when they were declared obsolete and most manufacture ended. Like I said, both rifles and pistols were used for them. Marlin even had a nice little model 1892 with a reversible firing pin so you could fire either one of them. Nowadays, the 32 rimfire ammo costs more than the guns that they were used for. Then, about 1878, Smith & Wesson came up with the centerfire version of the same thing. Now these were made for, that's described as card table distances. Not made for anything long range, just for some short range self-defense guns. You had little bitty 32 Smith & Wessons, things like the Bulldogs. Everybody made pistols for this cartridge. And at the same time, they decided to go ahead and make the long version for it. The 32 Smith & Wesson long actually wound up with quite a reputation for accuracy. And the early 1900s, Teddy Roosevelt was the police commissioner in New York City, and he ordered all new pistols for the police in the 32 Smith & Wesson. I've got a bunch of those. I love the cartridge. It's fun. It's fun to shoot in rifles as well. There's a Smith & Wesson, and here's a Colt Pocket Positive. Now this one says 32 New Police. That's because it's the same cartridge, but Colt didn't want to put 32 Smith & Wesson on a Colt revolver. Now a few years later, John Browning wound up going to Belgium, talking to Fabrique Nationale about a new cartridge that he had developed and a new pistol he wanted to do. It's known as either 7.65 Browning in Europe or 32 Auto or 32 ACP here. This cartridge has had a long life. It was originally designed for the model 1899 model 1900 Browning or FN, which was an absolute revolution in its time. Stayed around for many years. Was developed over and over into newer and better handguns. Then, along with all the civilian versions, militaries loved it. The U.S. couldn't understand that because we like everything bigger and better. Here's some military 32 ammo, a Mauser HSC, a World War I Ruby, and a Beretta model 1935. Many militaries in Europe use this as their pistol. Now then, for several years, things stagnated with the 32. It just stayed as it was. But then you come along about 1984, H&R wanted to do something better, so they teamed up with Federal to produce the 32 H&R Magnum. Quite a bit more powerful than the original 32, and didn't get a whole lot of popularity, but it lasted for a while until 2008 when someone decided, hey, we want something even better. We want a 32 that's going to be as powerful as a 357 Magnum. So this is the 327 Federal. A lot longer, more powerful, but uses pretty much the same bullet and parent case as the rest of them. This is a Ruger Single 7 in 327 Federal. The fun part about the 327s is any of the other 32s except for the rimfire can be fired in a 327 revolver. Even the 32 automatic, because it's a semi-rimmed, it's got just enough rim that it'll work in a revolver chamber. Y'all come on back to Gunpowder Acres. Leave me some comments, some likes. Subscribe if you haven't. And we'll start looking at some other stuff on the next video. Come on back.